When you join Hotels Etc., you'll be able to take the same amazing vacations and stay at the same amazing hotels with discounts up to 70%. You sure you got that?
Discounts up to 70%.
Plus, Hotels Etc. get you deals on everything like cruises, car rentals, even movies, restaurants, entertainment, theme parks, and much, much more. Now you're thinking, this is going to cost me thousands. Well, think again. The low, low price will blow you away. Plus, if you join right now, you can try Hotels Etc. absolutely free for 72 hours. Wake up, people.
Try it free for 3 days.
No cost, no obligation. So now you have your vacation and your money too. Never pay full price again. Join Hotels Etc. right now and slash your travel and entertainment costs up to 70%. Call toll free 877-967-7283, 877-967-7283, or sign up online, hotelsetc.com. That's HOTELSETC.com.
Tune your radio.
Tune in.
Now.
You can tune into this radio station on any smartphone or tablet.
iPhone,
Android,
BlackBerry,
Nokia,
Samsung,
Windows phones,
or whatever you have. Download the free TuneIn app from your phone or tablet's app store.
Tune in with music, sports, news, and comedy.
From over 70,000 radio stations around the world, including this Beasley Broadcast Group station. Check it out at tunein.com.
Or your app store.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Vivica Fox. For more than 100 years, American Humane has been helping our best friends in their worst times, during hurricanes, tornadoes, and increasingly, wildfires. They're real heroes to these animals. But Mother Nature isn't the only danger that animals face. Sometimes it's human nature that's the greatest threat. Each year, more than 6 million beautiful adoptable animals are being abandoned, and more than 1 million are euthanized before they can be rescued. These animals need heroes too. Heroes to open up their hearts and homes and to give them the love they deserve. Be a hero to an animal in need. Consider becoming an American Humane Rescue Volunteer or adopt from your local shelter. Visit AmericanHumane.org to find out how you can be a hero and help our best friends in their worst times.
You are tuned into WWE AM 1100.
The opinions expressed during the sponsored programs on this station are strictly those of the program hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of Beasley Broadcast Group, this station, its staff, other advertisers, or agencies.
Woo! And we are back with another episode of the number one rated business show right here on the road 1100 AM. I'm your host, Kevin C. Pride. I finally remembered I was the host. I never introduced myself. I don't know why. Anyway, let's get a few announcements out of the way. To all my men out there who like to stay looking good, who like to stay on top of their game and want to stay fly, like your boy, I ain't gonna say nothing, but you know. I want you to go see my personal barber over at Studio 1211. So if you're in the Douglasville area, He is located right there on Fairburn Road at 6405 Fairburn Road. You can also call and schedule an appointment at 770-485-6772. Ask for Melvin and he might give you a free lineup. Ain't that right? G Money. We got G Money back in the house today. Also, join me tomorrow for a great networking event. It's the Black Business Networking event. Many of y'all know the networking king himself, Corey Moore. Tomorrow, I will be speaking very briefly some stuff about the Atlanta Business Journal, letting everybody know all the great things that we got going on with the Atlanta Business Journal. You can register for this event at urbanatlanta.org. Once again, urbanatlanta.org. Also, to all my good friends and listeners and haters and everybody else, we are nominated for a Rice Award again this year. That's right. You are nominated for a Rice Award. I'm going to put it like that so I can get y'all to go vote. So this is going out to all my listeners, all my fans, all my haters, my family, everybody. I want you to go to the riceawards.com and click vote. And then I want you to vote for Kevin Pride in Outstanding in Media. And we got to win this one this year, y'all, because y'all let us lose last year. I got to be honest with y'all. And I know y'all was disappointed about it. That's all I can say. But I'm giving you a chance to redeem yourself. We are nominated once again. Also, is your business online? Do you have a WordPress website? Well, in today's world, if you are not online and your business is not going to survive, I want you guys to go to Fast Fix WP and make sure that site stays running smooth and stays up every time you need it to be. Trust me, there is nothing worse than having your site go down when you have a big meeting or you got a customer about to make a purchase. So visit fastfixwp.com and rest assured that your site is up and online every time. So a couple weeks ago, or was it? Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago now. We had conversations and cocktails with Cavassier. It was a big time national event, a great event, to be honest with you. But I also got a chance to meet a national influencer, goes by the name of Chris Roy, and he is here with us today. How you doing today, Mr. Roy?
What's going on, Kevin? I'm doing amazing.
I know you're doing amazing out there. You got them sunny skies out there in California.
Yes, sir. It's actually amazing. The weather is great today, man.
Wow. So tell me, we were just talking about conversations and cocktails that we had with Cavassier. And, you know, one of the big questions that came up from that is, what does it actually mean to be an influencer? Like, what is that lifestyle like? What does that mean?
So for me, being an influencer is about adding value to any space that you step into.
Okay.
So for me, I'm very influential in the hospitality space, and I'm a great connector. So, you know, my gift is putting two people in the room and them creating some business and being able to do that at a high level and scale that.
Now, how do you package that? Like, how do you package that and price that? Is this something that, because I see some of these kids that say they're influencers and this type of stuff now, well, it's $30 for this post, it's $60 for 2 posts, you know, this type of thing. But you do it on a much higher level. So how do you actually make that some type of actual product?
So for me, either I add percentage points to, you know, a space that I'm adding value to. So, you know, we're being influential on a product or service, or, you know, bringing business to a nightclub or restaurant, then I'll take a percentage of the revenue that I bring in from my influence.
Okay.
If it's, you know, on a higher level where we're establishing a brand partnership, i.e. Cavassier or another brand like that, then you would look at, you know, a higher level on a monetary value or create some type of salary or some type of brand partnership where, you know, you get a salary, then you get a piece of, you know, the cases that are sold in a certain marketplace. So I think that, you know, when you're influential in a space and you provide something that's very unique to the space, which is why people reach out to you for you to be influential, you can set your price. And that's a great place to be.
Now, another big thing, because it's amazing. I just had this conversation with a potential client yesterday. And once again, if you're just now joining us, we're speaking with national influencer Chris Roy on the phone with us all the way from sunny California. I'm jealous of you because it's getting cold here in Georgia.
Hey, man, come on out to LA anytime. We're waiting for you.
Oh, I'm gonna take you up on that one. But no, how do you get started in this industry? Is this one of those type things you see something and I want to be an influencer, or is it something that you just kind of fall into? Like, how do you intentionally become an influencer?
For me, I think the core thing is the focus always has to be about the work. Okay. And so for me, I'm a very, very good event producer. And so I invested a lot of time into, producing events on, all levels of life. And I've been producing events over 15 years since college. I went to Hampton University. And so we did a lot of major parties on campus. We did the Black College Spring Break. We took that to South Beach, Miami. I've worked with, a ton of nightlife groups between the Washington, D.C. area, South Beach, Miami, and now Los Angeles. And just from bringing value to each one of those spaces and also being able to bring value to the corporate environment with some of my background working at Revolt TV in the digital marketing department, producing content there for years and running my own agency. Every place that I've gone and I've added value, it allowed me to be an expert in my space to the point where people reach out to me for that expertise, which in turn makes me an influencer.
Wow.
And so it's
now I like that the fact that it's one of those type of things that people just noticed what you were doing and they found out that, hey, this guy can probably do something for our brand. Is that kind of like what you're telling me?
Indeed.
Now, you also said that you used to own an agency, or you still do?
I do.
Okay.
I do currently.
So what type of agency do you run? Do you train up and coming influencers, or because you're a little bit more than just what most people consider to be an influencer these days? You're not that guy to be out there just, hey, I'm gonna post something or wear your shirt on my Instagram feed. You like a connector. You like the real influencer, the one that us grown folks talk about. Somebody that can really influence purchasing decisions and influence conversations.
Yeah, I think that in terms of my agency, man, we really focus on producing consumer-facing events. I'm really big in the experiential space as it relates to translating corporate to culture. And so, Lays to speak to the Black community. Do want to speak to the Black community. Cavassier wants to speak to the Black community. I will be the conduit for them communicating to the Black community in the event and experience space.
Wow. Now that's one of those amazing type things, because a lot of times people we say these things to folks, especially young folks. We tell them, well, business is about relationships, but we don't really break that all the way down as a concept and say, look, these are the people that you want to get yourself connected to, because these are the type of people that's going to have these type of opportunities, and you want to make sure that they know about you when these opportunities come up. In this experiential marketing space, how is that changing now that we're in this whole COVID state?
I think that the experiences are changing. So, for example, I produce several weekly events in LA. We just got our COVID level just rolled back a week. So now we have a curfew that's going to be put in place this Friday, where after 10 o'clock, you can't be in any venues. So we're always having to be very creative in terms of having to communicate with our consumer base, having to take the experience from something that we may do at a bar, a nightclub, a restaurant, or activation that we're doing in public, and now make these things digital. So now, from let's say from an alcoholic beverage standpoint, I'm taking the experience of you going out to a restaurant and ordering drinks, or, going to a bar, or me hosting bottle service at a nightclub, to how can we create cocktails at home? How can I bring this experience home to my family? And so it's all about keeping the conversation going and staying organic to what's really going on in the real world. And I think that great marketers find a way to get ahead on those things and really stay in tune with people, even though the environment changes.
Oh, yeah. Now, do you think 2021, we're going to see any changes? Because I was starting to see some hope, and then now I'm starting to see these numbers start to skyrocket. I look at, the pretty much the cycle that has ran last time. I think, it hit us bad in March, went up high April, and then you start to see it start to taper down like May, June. Do you think at 2021, I'm hoping that we're past this, but what do you see for 2021?
So for 2021, first and foremost, we all got to keep the faith and, stay positive and make sure that we're staying up on our health and fitness and eating proper and doing those kind of things. But outside of that, man, I believe that, a lot is going to depend on these impending vaccines and medical updates. So right now we're kind of at the mercy of, the vaccines, the updates in terms of the health departments and, how cities react to that. So, I feel like this thing is probably going to drag out into the summer, and we'll probably see people continuing to have to work remotely and continuing to have to do events and do activations to connect with people in very creative ways. And I think digital is going to be a key factor in, staying engaged during these times.
Now, a lot of folks saying the work from home, a lot of companies are starting to say, hey, we found out we don't need all these offices no more. So this is here to stay. So do you think, a lot of the events and a lot of things that we've seen on Zoom, because, doing a lot of these like summits and this type of stuff, a lot of times it can get very, very expensive on you. But in this COVID, I think we've allowed a lot of things to kind of happen event wise, like so many folks doing stuff via Zoom. Do you think we'll continue that, or do you think we just go back to our normal? I want to go be with these people.
I think it's a two-part thing. There's something very powerful in physical connection and being in the same room with somebody, because you can really feel that energy.
Oh yeah.
In terms of what's changed and what's developed over the course of COVID and virtual meetings, I think it's similar to when the internet blew up and Apple Music blew up and YouTube and SoundCloud blew up, and it didn't matter so much. If you were a dope artist, you didn't necessarily have to play the politics game to get that exposure. And I think that with Zoom now, anybody can bring their audience to the digital space where your reach is unlimited. So I think that it's going to open up, people to a lot of different learnings, a lot of different things, because now you can give a conference away, or you can get a brand sponsor to sponsor your stream or whatever the case may be. You don't have a huge overhead to get under in terms of renting a hotel out or a conference room or a building. So I think it's going to allow more information to change, which is going to increase commerce in the digital space and in the spaces of businesses that can function in this new environment.
I definitely will say, I think a lot of this Zoom and a lot of the digital events and this type of stuff is here to stay at this point. A lot of people figured out, hey, we can do it. It's a lot cheaper and we can still bring folks together. So I definitely think we're going to move forward on that. Next question is, Instagram and Facebook this day and age seem to be losing a little steam. Are you seeing that, or is it still just as powerful and just effective for you? And I'll tell you why I say it, but go ahead first.
From my perspective, I believe that the platforms evolve with the primary consumer base. So I think that for me, the majority of the money I make via social media is done through Instagram, and me showing the process of what I do, and people seeing that cool, I can post about this, that, and the third, but to actually see what I do brings value to my space. Now, I think that, the Generation Z and all of the people that follow after millennials, I feel like TikTok and other platforms are, taking off in those spaces. Those platforms are taking off when it comes to music. In Instagram and Facebook, they try to keep up with the Instagram reels and certain things, but there's always going to be something new that comes out. But you still can't negate the large consumer base, largest in the world, that's on Facebook platform. And so because of that, it's always going to have some power, even though things are shifting with the generations beyond the millennial generation.
Now, the only reason why I say it is I'm starting to see a big shift in advertising, or a change in advertising. I don't know if this is Facebook just trying to raise their prices and Instagram trying to raise their prices on the advertising side. But $1,000 used to get you almost 1 million impressions easy. And now it seems like that's starting to be a little bit more of a struggle. Like spending $1,000 now, you almost half that. And I don't know if that's a thing that traffic is actually starting to go down, or is the fact we're starting to see our value and we want more money for what we're giving people.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a tough metrics there to go back and forth with, because I feel like Instagram as a whole and Facebook as a whole, whatever you want to see in terms of where you want to invest your dollars, I feel like they're going to pimp you for that. You know what I mean? And that's just, it's a cold game when you don't own those platforms. And so for me, I've always encouraged people to, if you have a great following in the consumer base and things of that nature, you always want to drive your traffic to your own platforms that you own, so you can monetize those as well. So, that's always my thought process there.
Well, tell me this, because we got probably about 3 or 4 more minutes. What is the best way for someone this day and age to start to build their Instagram following for the purpose of their business now, not just personal, but what do you tell your clients is the best way for them to build that Instagram following up?
I think the best way for you to build your Instagram following up is to create quality content. and create a conversation around the content that you develop.
Okay.
So, if you're making food, if you have a business in a restaurant, then all your posts should be amazing, pictures and video of food and your chefs in the kitchen and their process of developing secret, recipes and menus, and you just showing the love and the conversations for food will kind of galvanize energy around your brand. And I think that's important. No matter what you do, is you have to tell a story and you have to peel some layers back into your process. And once people, invest into your story and invest into your process, your brand will grow as well. And that's in real life, and it's also online.
Wow. The one and only Chris Roy, ladies and gentlemen. What you got up for 2021, man? What do you got planned? What you got coming?
Man, so 2021 is going to be major. Getting ready to put my hat into the real estate arena. So we do a lot of, high-end vacation rentals out here in Los Angeles. And so we're going to continue to blow that business up. Wow. and just, really go crazy with the custom life experiences. So as things close down, more custom experiences are opening up. And so I'm going to be, ahead of the game and try to get on top of that business.
Now, I love the fact that you are going so heavy on experience, because it's everything is starting to be about that experience. It's starting to be more like a personalized experience. Even when we sending out emails, when you come to the website, social media, everything, we're trying to make it more personalized for people. Do you see more of that in the actual live event space coming up in the next year?
I really do. I think that it's not about how many random people I can put in a room or get together. Now everyone's intentional about what they're doing. It's very personal. You know what I mean? Especially when your health is at risk and your health might be on the line, you want to make sure that you're handpicking and really choosing the folks that you get together. And so I think that, there's going to be a lot of dollars and energy invested into making things even more custom and tailor-made for people.
Wow. If somebody wants to get in contact with Chris Roy, they want to follow you or what's that contact info?
Yeah, the best way to get in contact with me is to follow me on Instagram at Chris_Roy. Shoot me a DM and hit the link in my bio, and I have, information for you to set up a consultation, check my website out, check some of the projects I got going on out, and I look forward to connecting with anybody who wants to reach out.
All right. Once again, the one and only nationwide Chris Roy. Thank you so much for joining us today, man. We'll definitely stay connected.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
All right, man. We'll be back right after this quick commercial break.
This pandemic has many people suffering. Are you stressed? Are you not sleeping well? Are you suffering from neck pain, back pain, or headaches? Chiropractic can help. Chiropractic is a natural healing art that can resolve many of your ailments. Dr. Williams and Dr. Fowler of Align for Life are board-certified doctors of chiropractic with over 15 years of combined experience. They are located in South Atlanta and are available for your healthcare needs.
If you want to be fine, take care of your spine. Visit them at yourfinespine.com.
Is your business online? Well, in today's world, if you're not online, then your business is not going to survive. Do you have a WordPress website? Well, if you do, I want to make sure that you go visit my good friends at Fast Fix WP and make sure that WordPress website stays running smooth. Trust me, there is nothing worse than having a big presentation or have a customer on your site and then your site goes down. So I want you to go visit fastfixwp.com and make sure your site stays running smooth and stays online every time you need it. Once again, right here on the #1 rated business show, right here on the one and only Real 1100 AM, the world famous. I'm making the world famous. Y'all saw that he was all the way in California, bro. I'm stressing you out. G Money don't say nothing. He's like, whatever, dude. Just do your show. So joining me right now, she is Atlanta's own Miss Nicole Thomas, Esquire. Did I get it right? Esquire.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for joining me today. What's the Esquire part? Like, explain the Esquire real quick, just so we can get it out the way.
Esquire is just a fancy way of saying attorney, lawyer. It's all the same. Yes, that is me. I am Nicole Thomas, a native of Atlanta, Georgia, and I practice law here in the state of Georgia. While I am a native of Atlanta, I am licensed to practice throughout the entire state.
All right. Now, you specifically practice and focus on injury, right?
Yes, that is correct. My areas of practice are personal injury, and specifically that means I handle auto accident cases, slip and falls, and some food poisoning cases. But today we're going to talk specifically about auto accident cases.
So tell me this, because you an attorney, you my attorney. I'm riding down the street and out of nowhere, boom, somebody just comes slamming into my car. Do I call you first or do I call the police first?
You want to call 911. That is your first call. You want to make sure you call the police.
Okay.
I can't tell you how many people get into these accidents and say, well, we exchanged information and left the scene. Of course, the story changes when, that person speaks to their insurance and doesn't want to pay any money. So calling 911 is going to set you up properly for handling your claim.
Now, do I need to be careful about what I say to the police when they come? Do I need to just kind of give them the information that they ask me for? Should I just start, telling them everything? Like, how should I handle that situation with the actual police?
When you're speaking with the officers, you just want to tell the truth about how the accident occurred and give the information that they asked for. That is the only thing you need to do. And make sure if you are injured, please make sure you seek medical treatment immediately, whether that's going to the hospital by ambulance or having a friend take you to the hospital. Please go to the hospital immediately after the accident.
That's crazy, because back, I would say probably, what was it, 2013, 2014, somewhere in there. But I used to have a beautiful little G37 coupe. My wife couldn't stand it because we couldn't fit the kids in there, but I was fly. But the point of the matter is, I was riding down Austell, and this dude, we had to stop abruptly. So I slammed on my brakes, and the guy behind me obviously didn't see it and just boom, plowed into the back of me. And it hurt. I ain't gonna lie. I got out. I was like, oh my goodness, that hurt.
Right.
But I was busy at the time, and the police offered me a ambulance and all this type of stuff. I wouldn't take it. I didn't go seek any type of medical attention. And I think you probably gonna know what the next part of this story looks like. So when they come on the scene and they offer the ambulance, is that necessary that we go in the ambulance if we think we're hurt, or just okay, I'll go to the doctor? Does that really matter for your case?
Honestly, it depends on the severity of your injuries. Of course, when there is a very serious crash, if it's necessary to go by ambulance, my advice would be please take the ambulance ride. Don't refuse to go. If you think, you know your body. So it depends on how you feel. If you say, okay, I'm going to wait a day or two, because sometimes it does take 48 to 72 hours before you really start feeling those pains. And when we talk about injury as a personal injury attorney, any type of muscle aches, neck pain, back pain, those are injuries that you can be compensated for from an accident. Although you may not have a broken bone, some people think, oh my gosh, I have to break my arm to recover. That's not, how it works. Any type of muscle aches that you have, you want to make sure you see a doctor to get checked out immediately after your accident.
Now, a lot of folks had this attitude, because we already live in a very litigious society. But a lot of folks had this attitude, I don't want to sue nobody. I don't want to do this type of stuff. And I used to kind of be like that. But what I found out was, so after I got in this accident, they totaled out my car. My car was fully paid for, thank Jesus. But I didn't get the full amount of the car. So I think it was probably about $6,000 I actually lost on that part. And then I didn't go to the doctor. I didn't go see the chiropractor or nothing. And what ended up happening was, Progressive denied almost everything that I tried to do. The only thing that they would do was pay the car off. They wouldn't pay for me to go see a doctor afterwards. I told them, hey, my back is starting to really hurt now. I'm starting to have some issues. And my insurance company wouldn't do nothing about it.
And I'm glad you bring that up, because the insurance company is not your friend. And so what we mean by
Progressive don't like me. All that money I pay to Progressive, they don't like me.
And I'm not specifically saying, one insurance company over the other. I mean, all of them, they are not your friend. And that's why we suggest you call us for a free consultation about your case after you've called 911, gone to that hospital and gotten checked out. Call an attorney before you speak to the insurance company, because I promise you, our job is to make sure we get the maximum value for your claim. They will try to rob you. And I can give you plenty of examples. I have a client who I represented recently where she was involved in an auto accident where she wasn't at fault. The insurance company offered her $1,500 the day after her claim to settle, the day after the accident, to settle her bodily injury claim. And when we talk about representation, attorneys are typically representing you for your bodily injuries and not your property damage. But in that particular case, they offered her $1,500. She said no. When I stepped in on the case and started representing her, I received her hospital bill. Her hospital bill was $19,000.
Did you negotiate that for me?
So imagine, if she would have accepted that $1,500, she would not have been able to recover any additional money for her claim. And as her attorney, I was able to get the maximum that person had, which was $25,000 based on, the hospital bill was one bill, but she had additional bills that amounted to much more. And we were able to recover, $25,000 for her, where if she would have accepted that $1,500, she really would have been in a very bad position.
Now, does me having health care insurance come into play? Because when I go to the emergency room, I'm covered with my health care insurance. So they're going to cover a majority of that. So when you talk about getting that money back for expenses, is that to pay that hospital bill? Does that go in my pocket, or is that my portion of whatever I had to pay to my insurance?
And that's a good question. It varies based on case by case. Okay. And so for someone who does have health insurance, that's something that we, the attorney, will make sure that we cover when we're representing you.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Sound like you know what you're talking about so far.
So far, so good. So if I could give 5 quick tips to our listeners today.
Okay.
The 5 quick tips, if you've listened to nothing else that I've said, the insurance company will try to rob you, no matter who it is. Speak to an attorney first, because their job is to keep money in their pocket. Make sure you call 911 immediately after the accident from the scene. Take photos of your cars. Do not, in photos, both cars, your car and the car who hit you. Do not post on social media. Insurance companies will research you. And if you are posting on social media, they are looking for ways, again, to take money out of your pocket. And so for me, it's my job to make sure you get the most. So if you're posting on social media, it may hurt your case.
So if you're in a wreck today, and then you talking about your back hurt tomorrow, don't be in the club posting photos Thursday night talking about dancing and getting down and all that type of stuff, talking about your back hurt.
Right, exactly. Because I can't justify that, or we can't justify that if we do, have to go in front of a jury for your case one day if we file suit, and the jury is going to see those photos or that, that party 3 days after your accident where you were out, but your back hurt. So
now, does that really come into play nowadays? Is social media now something that somebody can actually use against you when you're posting stuff in social media?
Yes, it can be used for or against you.
Okay.
And by that, I mean, there are some things such as your friends who you may know, who are your Facebook friends and social media friends who, may post, hey, my friend was in an accident and I'm helping them now with their household duties. So it can be used to your advantage, but, it can be a disadvantage as well. Wow.
That's a shame that we live in this type of society. Folks ought to just do right.
Right.
I guess they did. You won't have a job though.
And also, make sure you get the at-fault person's insurance information at the scene. While it will be in the police report, sometimes it takes a week or 2 weeks to get the police report, and that's going to delay you getting, your rental car, as well as us being able to reach out to that at-fault party's insurance company on your behalf and start the process of representing you.
Okay. Now, one thing you said, make sure that you get your insurance information directly from the scene. Now, question, do most of these cases end up going to court and I got to go testify and I got to get on a stand and this type of stuff? Or is this a lot of times just a negotiation between you and the insurance company?
It really depends on the type of case that you have. I will say that some cases do end up going to litigation. However, some cases we are able to settle without going to court.
Now, when you say some of these cases go to litigation, All right.
I'm sorry. That litigation
No.
means some cases we do have to file a lawsuit on your behalf against the person who caused your injuries, and their insurance company will come in and represent. And that's where we're going to court and testifying. What we try to do is prepare a package for you to the insurance company that shows, what your injuries were, and try to get your case resolved without going to court. However, sometimes it does require that extra step, but that's dependent on a case-by-case basis in the circumstances. One thing you want to make sure is that you are consistent with your treatment. If you are hurting, you need to make sure you go to treatment. I can't stress that enough, because if you're not going to treatment, you are dwindling the value of your case. You're taking money out of your own pocket.
And that right there, I cannot stress enough how important that part is. Actually go get that medical opinion and get seen about yourself, because I promise you the insurance company did not want to hear your back hurt.
Exactly. We have to make sure everything is documented. If it's not documented and you just say my back hurts, they will not compensate you for that.
Now, do you represent me if I go out and hit somebody, or is it just if I'm the injured party?
So we only represent cases where you are not at fault for the accident.
Okay.
If you are at fault for the accident, then unfortunately we would not represent you. However, we do we do
like the way you put that.
free
If it's your fault.
consultations. We do provide free consultations, and so we would be able to talk you through. And sometimes there are situations where an officer may have labeled you at fault where you may not truly not have been at fault. So that is why we ask that you give us a call, because we do offer free consultations to talk to you before you ever, spend any money hiring an attorney. And we don't charge anything up front. We recover our fees for representing you out of your settlement funds, or if we file suit, out of your lawsuit.
Now, another question. How bad do I have to be hurt? Like, of course, ain't nobody gonna pick up the phone. I broke a fingernail when they bumped my car. But like, you're gonna have some pain once that adrenaline and stuff wears off, regardless being an accident from what I've experienced. But how bad does somebody need to be hurt in order to call a lawyer?
And that's a good question. There's no measure as to how bad your injuries need to be. If you are in an accident and you are injured, whether that's, neck pain, back pain, there are all types of different injuries that you can receive from an auto accident. And even if you have had previous accidents, or, you have a pre-existing condition, you still can seek representation for your claim. So there's no measure on, the amount of pain you have to be in before you need to call an attorney. If you're involved in an accident where you're not at fault and it's, and you are in pain, it's okay to call and talk to us for a free consultation.
Wow. You get my lost wages back too?
Yes, that's a great question. We also do recover lost wages if you have them. That's a part of your claim that we'll look at on your behalf. And so as the attorney, what our job is to make sure that we try to make you as whole as possible from this auto accident by recovering as much as we can for you.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Miss Nicole Thomas, Esquire.
You're welcome.
Is it something else? Is it another way to put it? Did we just say lawyer Nicole Thomas?
Attorney Nicole Thomas, or Nicole.
How you like it the best? You like Esquire, though?
No, I actually go by my first name, and we treat you like our own family. You call me Nicole, it's fine. Calling me Nicole is fine.
Now, if someone has been injured in an accident, or if they are looking for that free consultation, how can somebody get in contact with you?
Yes, you can find me on my website at www.nthomaslaw.com.
All right. Fully endorsed by Kevin C. Pride, Nicole Thomas Law Firm. Thank you so much for coming in and telling us about auto accidents today.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
This pandemic has many people suffering. Are you stressed? Are you not sleeping well? Are you suffering from neck pain, back pain, or headaches? Chiropractic can help. Chiropractic is a natural healing art that can resolve many of your ailments. Dr. Williams and Dr. Fowler of Align for Life are board-certified doctors of chiropractic with over 15 years of combined experience. They are located in South Atlanta and are available for your healthcare needs.
Auto accident, wellness care, slip and fall. We take care of it all. Visit them at yourfinespine.com.
Is your business online? Well, in today's world, if you're not online, then your business is not going to survive. Do you have a WordPress website? Well, if you do, I want to make sure that you go visit my good friends at Fast Fix WP and make sure that WordPress website stays running smooth. Trust me, there is nothing worse than having a big presentation or have a customer on your site and then your site goes down. So I want you to go visit fastfixwp.com and make sure your site stays running smooth and stays online every time you need it.
Kids follow your lead. Help them stay healthy. Wash your hands. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth. And cover coughs and sneezes. Clean and disinfect the objects you touch often, like your phone, the remote, and doorknobs. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. And if you're the one who's sick, stay home. This station is part of the Beasley Best Community of Caring, and we care about your family. For more info, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19.
Hey folks, just a quick reminder that no matter the time of the day and no matter what day of the week, East Coast, West Coast, all points in between, we are always on. So go to your app store and download the Real 1100 app and listen wherever and whenever.
The Real.
And we are back right here on the number one rated show, right here on the Real 1100 AM. I'm going to just take the business out. We just going to be the number one rated show from here on out. Greg say, man, do your show. So joining me in studio, it's the famous, the world famous Miss Venessa Abram. How you doing today?
I'm good. Kevin, how are you?
I've been doing great.
Wonderful.
So what you up to these days? You an author, you a TV personality, you a columnist. I mean, you got so much stuff going on. So what we doing today?
Well, Kevin, we want to talk about stomping the stigma.
All right, we stomping the stigma.
We stomping the stigma, the stigma that's connected to mental health, wellness, suicide prevention, all of those things.
Okay.
So today, let's talk about it.
All right.
Let's talk about it. And as a matter of fact, you didn't even mention you.
I mentioned that a lot of times, and you were supposed to come on this show back. Was it last year or earlier this year?
Yeah, I think it was last year or this year, because Kevin is a part of one of my series, and he too is an award-winning author.
Thank you so much. I do a horrible job of promoting myself. I tell folks that all the time. I barely tell folks I got a radio show. I was like,
wow.
I work so hard for my clients. Now, you have a grant now, right? You're funded.
We're funded with Community Foundation of Greater Atlanta.
Okay.
And that's only one of our funders. So we're actually getting a plethora of funders.
Okay.
Due to COVID-19, of course, and the pandemic. Mental health, suicide has increased.
Drug
it's
addiction, all of it.
It's off the chain. And, with me being a survivor, and of course, with the passing of my older brother, which was a decorated U.S. Army veteran, and it's been 4 years, I allow that pain that I still deal with day to day to propel me to my purpose and get out here and help somebody else. I still struggle day to day, but then at the same time, I'm learning, as my organization is Self-Discovery Pain Positioning and Purpose Incorporated, a 501c3 that's based here in Atlanta. And we're on a mission to eradicate suicide. So self-discovery is knowing who you are, who you're not, but yet who you are becoming. And then Kev, my pain positions me for purpose. It's not easy. It's easy saying it, but it's surely not an easy task.
It's amazing with this whole COVID thing. And we're seeing the numbers skyrocket. I mean, left and right, you're seeing more and more suicide, more and more depression, more and more alcohol and this type of stuff. I had no idea, but it almost feels like you isolated. It feel like, you all alone by yourself and that type of thing. And it's one of those type of things that kind of drives you to a depressed state. Like you start to feel like don't nobody care about me. And, all these other little crazy things start going through your mind, because I'm a people person and I need to be around folks. So I hadn't seen my staff members in almost since March.
Wow.
I mean, you see folks on Zoom and that type of stuff, but it's just not that same interaction.
Right. It's not. And I agree. And it's funny you say that because my daughter, my 33-year-old daughter, she has that same issue. She's a people person. I'm not. I'm more of an introvert.
Okay.
So I'm learning how to be more of that.
So you can stay in
people person.
COVID for 5 more years
I
and be
sure
good.
can. And I'll be all right. But, with her situation, she was like, I can't, I'm isolated, working from home, and, I need to get out and see people. And she kind of had a little break there.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's real. It's real. It is so real, Kevin, until, we got so many things that's going on in the world today. My oldest brother, I asked him and my sister, I said, have you guys ever seen anything like this in your lives? No.
Yeah.
So it's like the racial disparity and the mental health. And then also they're cutting funding for mental health.
Yes.
At such a time as this.
Well, I think you're going to see that reinstated with the Biden administration coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think that he seems like he's a big proponent for mental health.
Mm-hmm.
He need to be.
Yeah, exactly. And if not, I'll be advocating. I'll be knocking on the door.
We got some issues we got to work out.
Yes.
So what are y'all doing in this time, in this day and age? Because you can't really get with people. We can't touch no more. We got to stay 6 feet apart.
Right.
And, a lot of that being together is just sharing that space and being kind of having those intimate moments and sharing that energy with each other. So what are you guys doing to make people feel like they're supported and feel like they got folks around them?
And that's so important for us to do. What we do, some of the things that we do, we utilize the virtual platforms. Of course, we have Zoom and we have so many other different platforms that you can use virtually so that we are not, maybe customer facing or physical face to face. And then calls, making sure, I got a call this morning that I'm still shook up about it. A call, 10-year-old son is having some issues. And, that was a crisis call.
Wow.
And, these are the things that we're getting, these calls and messages. And it's just so important for me to be able to first be there for them.
Okay.
And then number 2, give them some direction, some inflection, and then the resources that they need to go to the next step, whether it's to go to Viewpoint, whether it's to go to the hospital, whether it's to go see a therapist, or reach out to my connections and say, hey, this is what I have going on and this is what I need. Who can I call?
Wow.
So, and that's what I had to do today. Yeah.
Now, is it a lot of the isolation that you're hearing about, or is it a lot of like, I'm out of work, I'm not getting my unemployment checks and my family is starting to financially hurt. Is that a lot of the reason that we're seeing this, or is it more so the isolation thing, or is it just all of it?
All of the above. And I hate to say that, but it is what it is. Kevin, on the way here, I came early on purpose, and I serve. And one of the biggest things, Kevin, that I've learned in these 4 years is service to me is like oxygen to my blood.
Wow.
I promise you, I've never loved a job in my life, but this one, I love it. And it's hard, it's heavy, I should say. The cross is heavy because I'm dealing with spirits. I'm dealing with people that's ill mentally. So I'm dealing with many different facets, but I'm graced for this mission by God. So
That's
I just thank
thing.
him for that. But I'm sorry, I kind of got off your question, but I mean, I just have to give him all the glory because Kevin, I wouldn't be here if it was not for my faith. I would not be here because it's just too much going on. And then having the pain of losing a brother from suicide. And my last attempt was 10 years ago.
Wow.
And the pain was so immense when he passed, I was going to attempt. And then the Lord said to me, just as we were talking, if you do it, your son will repeat it.
Wow.
And I said, oh, well, I need to go on to the hospital. I need to do what I need to do. Yes.
Now,
yes.
Why do you think so many people have a problem with trying to get help? Why do so many people struggle with that? Is it, and I know my personal reasons when I first started, I don't want nobody in my business or thinking I'm crazy or something like that. Cause you got some crazy stuff to go through your head sometimes. Not me, cause I'm not right. But no, why do you think that we having such a hard time to get people to get some help?
It's number one, it's the stigma. And pretty much everything that you said. When we grew up, what goes on in his house,
stay in his house.
Period, point blank, or you're going to get a whooping. We can't do that anymore. So we are so stuck in the traditional mindset until, we don't want nobody to know that I'm hearing voices or I'm crazy crazy. We all got mental illness, Kevin. And listen up, we all have it. It's just to the degree of which spectrum. You can have it very minor, or it can be so great until you are impacted heavily by it. So there is no health without mental health. And it's point blank. People are afraid because of being judged.
Yep. Now, one big thing that is coming to my attention, and my daughter told me this. Gen Z is depressed. Like they're just and I told her, I said, I think y'all ain't got nothing better to do with y'all time. That's what I think it is. But no, she's saying overly, a lot of these young folks are depressed now. A lot of them are talking about it. You starting to see some music about it. People like Billie Eilish, for instance. A lot of her music is that depressed type of music. Why do you think that we're seeing this? Is this like diabetes? Are we giving this to our children, or are they starting to feel some symptoms or pressure of society? I mean, what do you think it is?
You know, it can be a combination of things. One, it can be in the genes, number one.
Okay.
You know, it can,
Might be
it can be in
hereditary.
exactly. Number one. Number two, we are not educated as parents. We got to become educated. And that's one of the things that I am teaching in every class that I am holding. Parents first, we got to we have to get you educated so that you can see and know that we all have mental health. No, it's not diabetes. No, it's not cancer, but it's equivalent to it.
Okay.
The mind it's a terrible thing to waste. And Kevin, I witnessed 4 years ago becoming homicidal.
Wow.
Understand that? Yes.
Wow.
After the passing of my brother. I mean, it's just like that. And then I'm grateful that I came back into maybe about 45 minutes later. But that is just how powerful the brain is. And the parents, we have to get the education to the parents, because some of the parents may think that, oh, they just want attention. No, ma'am. No, sir. If your child is telling you you're hearing voices, we need to get them to see somebody.
Wow.
You know, I got a call last month, someone from Jackson, a young lady here in Atlanta, her 8-year-old, they found her hanging. The daughter had told her she didn't want to sleep in the room. She was hearing voices, and they found her hung.
Wow. Now, tell me this. Why is it, I completely lost my train of thought, but depression and a lot of these mental health, I know where I was going with this. So, a lot of this mental health stuff, it is a lot like diabetes, all right? It is actual.
It's an illness.
Health
it's
illness.
an illness.
It's not that I'm crazy or something like this. You might just have something going on inside you, but it's not necessarily
It's a chemical
the
imbalance.
way we used to talk about it. You know,
Yeah,
you put
you're not
uncle
crazy.
upstairs somewhere and lock him in a room.
Yep. And everybody got one of them uncles and aunts. You better believe it, because I did. I got many of them. But
Wow.
back then, I didn't know.
Okay.
You know, we just thought it was just off the chain.
Now, one thing you said, you went homicidal for about 45 minutes. But I think those are emotions that everybody experience. So when do we decide it's a problem? When it's just overwhelming, I need to act on this, or the fact that I have these thoughts at all? Because trust me, you say something the wrong way, you know what I'm saying? I might not be as friendly. So how do we know when we actually have an issue?
But you know what, Kevin? Let me go back to this.
Okay.
When you are doing something outside of your norm, that was outside of my norm. That is not me.
Okay.
So the coping skills, and again, it was nothing but my faith. And the thing of it is we have to, first of all, learn new habits, and we also have to learn coping skills.
Okay.
And if we operate in the old ways, it's not going to turn out so right. But, you know, say for instance, I speak about myself in that in a crisis situation, maybe when someone is really, really crossing the borders or crossing the boundaries. Okay, I need some coping skills. I need coping skills in order to be able to respond and not react. The way you know that you need some help is when you see all red. You see all red, and when you know that it's not your norm.
Wow. Now, what are some of these coping mechanisms that you teach the people that work with you? What are some simple things that people can do? Hey, I noticed I've been angry for the past couple of days. Like, I gotta be honest with you, just watching the news, I had to start to check myself, like going through the election, watching the news coupled with all the stuff going on social media. I was like getting angry. I'm mad.
Yeah.
Like I'm peed off about something. You know, what are some things that you can do when you start to feel that way? Or what are some things that I guess some folks just don't even realize it though.
They don't. And you said something so powerful. I cannot watch the news like that.
Yeah.
And then even with my social media, I'll go on, do what I need to do. My assistant does all my social media posts and stuff like that. Do what I need to do, log out. I can't because that takes too much of my energy and that turns me into something else. And then it's taking me away. It's a distraction. So, in situations like this, we have to really, really be careful and mindful of the fact that when these type of things happen, meditation works, prayer works. One of the things that we are teaching is resiliency, the community resilience model, where you are taught how to ground yourself, just like around the walls. What colors do we see on the walls? We see red and black. Focus on that for a minute. And then those thoughts the negative thoughts will go away just like a cloud. And you continue to do that until it becomes a habit and in operating in that type of form, whether it's taking a walk, Kevin, whether it's drinking some water, focusing on the water going down your throat and the nourishment. I mean, it's what it's doing is diverting your focus to positive.
Okay. Wow. Now, why is it that because some of the stuff that you're saying, it just seemed like common sense. Like, even when I was raised up, you better go back there and count 10 or something, little boy. But why is it some folks have such a hard time taking themselves out of a lot of this stuff?
Because of shame. They're ashamed. They're ashamed. Again, like we just said, crazy. That word crazy. Yes, I used it too. I didn't know any better. But because of the fear of being judged, and people have to realize we have one life to live and one life to live only. And who am I trying to live it for? I'm not trying to live it for you and anybody else. I got to make it do what it do for me and the assignment that God has put me in. But Kevin, it took me a long time to get to where I am, brother, to say this. You see what I'm saying? I have to go through it to get to where I am. And that's why I am so unapologetic. I am so bold in Christ and in the work that I do, because I've earned the space to be where I am today. And nothing is easy about it. Nothing.
Now, quick question for parents out there. A lot of our kids now are starting to get on social media. And I held it back as long as I possibly could. If I could have kept my daughter off of it another 10 years, I would have. Because I just know that world. But now, and the main reason why I wanted to keep her off, because I didn't want her worrying about if somebody liked her or not. And then the other side, of course, the bullying never stops. But the main thing is a lot of people calculate their worth based off their likes.
That's true.
So is this something as parents, when we see our kids running up talking about they so sad, I put this out and ain't nobody like it and all this type of stuff, is that something as parents we really need to pay attention to and say, hold on, this is a teachable moment? Or is it something, nah, don't worry about it, should be all right?
Oh, no. You got to worry about it. As a matter of fact, that's one of the calls that I got this morning, and it was involving social media. First of all, we got to teach our kids. We got to teach them their value. No like, no heart. That does not.
But no, let me tell you something. I ain't trying to jump on you, but a lot of parents, they don't understand how powerful social media is. Oh, that's just a website. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand.
Be ye educated. Be ye educated, because it's costing us our kids' lives. And I say that with all sincerity and humility. Get educated. That's the most thing that you can do, because it's just social media, but social media is in your house. Social media, you don't know what they're doing in your bedroom. I was talking to TAPS. TAPS is an organization for military families that I'm partnering with, and they introduced me to a young lady that took her life, and her name was Amanda, and I can't think of her last name, but she took her life because of social media.
Wow.
Young, 15.
Wow.
So it's real, Kevin. We have to first, we as a parent, we got to educate ourselves.
But a lot of grown folks act the same way when they don't get no likes. They be all depressed, don't nobody like me and this type of stuff. They do.
And I just pray that the Lord will send kids or send people to the children. I really do, because you're right. Some parents are, wayward as well. But then at the same time, I pray that somebody in the school system, because I know I had many people outside of my parents that reared me that I always say thank you to now. So I pray that people will come around, because it takes more than a village today.
Wow. Well, You're looking good.
Well, thank you.
You're
so
looking
much.
like $1 million.
Thank you. Trying
You're
to get
looking
my pockets like that.
You're looking like everything has been going good for you. If somebody wants to get in contact with you, if they want to donate to the organization, or if they need some help, how can they get in contact with you?
They can contact me on our website at www.sdp3.org. And you can also give us a call at 678-902-6562. Please register for our trainings. It is on the website. Again, www.sdp3.org.
sdp3.org. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to have you back, and we're going to have a bigger show about social media. I got so engrossed in the conversation, I forgot I had to be running the show at the same time. But to everybody out there, thank y'all so much for listening and tuning in to Real 1100, to the #1 rated business show right here. Vote for me for the Rice Awards. Please go to thericeawards.com, and I want you to click that vote button, look for Outstanding in Media, and vote for Kevin C. Pride in the #1 rated business show. This is for all you guys. I'm putting it in your hands. Thank y'all so much. Stay tuned at I am KC Pride. Follow me on social media everywhere. I'm gonna just talk to you, make me get off air. Anyway, we out. We'll holler at y'all next week.
You're listening to WWE Real 1100 AM. And